Hello everyone, and welcome back to another G1 Transformers review. As you can see, I'm doing another classic figure in Autobot quickswitch this time. It's quite an unusual figure. I suppose the only one what's on a comparison to him is Six-Shot, which is the Decepticon sort of counterpart to this guy. Quickswitch, obviously being an Autobot, it's okay. They're both 6 changes, so you know you've got a lot of modes which are a little bit iffy in these figures. I don't actually have Six-Shot, I should point out. I've got a sort of smaller knockoff sort of version of him, but that's one figure I'd love to pick up. Definitely sort of keep an eye out to see if the reissue when it comes out is going for a reasonable amount. I might have to pick that one up. But this guy, I mean, he's a little bit worn, a little bit tired, and he's missing a few stickers, I should also point out. But he's not bad, but he's certainly not one I would sort of scream and shout, you know, to go and pick up. He's mediocre. Now, in this mode, I thought I'd start off. This is his jet mode, which is sort of what you'd expect really from the time. It's pretty chunky, and it's a sort of poor attempt at a jet mode. I mean, he's got, which is, you know, sort of kibble on the side here, which is obviously his legs, and you can see his hands up there. As to a sort of cockpit areas, not too bad, and you've got some pretty basic sort of chunky undercarriage underneath going on. He has accessories. He only got 2, and he's got 2 guns, which both should have this blue sticker on, but it's obviously come off on this one. They are handed. If I take one of them off and show you, that's obviously the moulded side, but there is a hollow side, so there is a left and a right one of these. So if you ever need to pick one up, you've got to make sure you've got the right side. But yeah, that's pretty much his jet mode. There's not a lot really to say about it. It doesn't really do anything unless you've got a good imagination. Anyway, getting on to his next mode. First of all, we'll pop the guns off, which are just pegged in to holes on the little wing tips there. First of all, we need to fold the wings away. Then we've got to turn these sections around, and they can be a bit of a pain in the neck, to be quite honest. And you've got to get them to sit like so, so that they're in line with each other. And they've got a habit, they'll either go or they'll just muck you about for ages. I did try shooting this video a few minutes ago, and it just wouldn't do. It just would not turn and fit together. It's doing it again now, so I'm going to persevere with it this time. That's it. It's gone this time. It's right, so we get the sides in line like so, and I think other than in one transformation they can stay like that, so that's good. Fold the nose cone of the jet away, which is a little bit like Laserbeak's head, I always thought, but there you go. Another little oddity. That just folds away on a double hinge like that. And then need to take the tail fins and bring that up on the large hinged part there, and fold them round as you bring it up, and that folds right over like so. And you'll notice there's a peg on this side and a hole on this one, and you just need to lift them up together and they peg together like so. Now turning it over, you get basically that, which again is not that great. It doesn't really sort of like show you that much. And at this point I think we need to open up the inside, and you'll see there's a red cone inside. That needs to be flipped out like so, and then close that back shut, and then the weapons can peg onto holes which are on either side of that. So you have created effectively a laser pistol. Now, yeah, that's not the greatest gun mode either, is it? Let's face facts, that's not G1 Megatron. It looks pretty much like a boat with guns sticking out, which is on a pair of legs. with a wheel sticking out of its bonnet as well. So as for gun mode, it's a bit of a fail. You know, you could use your imagination in the sort of cartoon mode. I suppose you could change into that and be used like Megatron used to be, but as a toy for a child to sort of run around and shoot, it's not that great. And you know full well that if you was playing with it and trying to sort of pretend that's a gun, you're probably going to have the guns fall off the front of it, and then it looks like you're trying to be a dentist and trying to drill people. But anyway, there you go. That's his gun mode sorted out. Now, as soon as he's virtually in it already, you turn it back the other way. You've then got to separate these fins again and turn them back that way up. And on these side bits, which are always a pain in the neck, you've got to swing both of them down on a long hinge in the middle there, and they then become, well, I'll bring it in so you can see the detail. They're now supposed to be tracks, like tank tracks. It's got quite a nice little bit of mouldy detail. I'll just show you that first. That's not bad, considering most of the time that's hidden. You know, that's a reasonable attempt at doing something with it. And then basically speaking, you just fit the guns in the holes on the top, and it becomes a drill tank mode, which, well, again, yeah, you can sort of see what they're going with, but again, it's not going to sort of really work that great. You have to forgive these tail fins are a bit floppy. So they normally sit like that. I mean, as a drill tank, yeah, he could drill, but he ain't going to get very far in, because as soon as he gets past the drill bit, his legs are going to stop him going any further. But again, well, okay, not too bad. Again, it's after all, it is a 6-changer. Now, to the next mode, which is, I've seen it described as sort of like an assault hovercraft, but it's actually more of a hydrofoil. You've got to, and it's a little bit odd, you've got to turn him over again. Yeah, again, he must get dizzy because he's always flipping from one way to the other. You've got to flip up this sort of bonnet part again, which is a little bit stiff. Put away the drill nose, fold that back. You then fold away the tank treads, like so, and then you take the white part, which was the nose cone of the jet, and fold that down, and then simply to finish the transformation again is fixing the guns, this time into what will be his hands there, and it becomes, although it's, I've heard it described, like I say, as an assault hovercraft, it is actually a hydrofoil because it's up on legs. So if that was going through the water, that would be skimming up above the surface of the water like that to allow less resistance against the water. So it is actually a hydrofoil. Not a bad mode, certainly one of the more unique. I don't think we've ever had a hydrofoil before in Transformers or since. So yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. That's just for the rarity value of the alt mode. I think that's worth noting. And now for perhaps the best, and it's loosely sort of described as the best mode, as an alt mode, is a beast mode of all things. Now, to do this looks a little bit weird. You've got to get the drill part out again. We'll get back to that in a second. You fold away the white aircraft nose cone part. You then got to bring the, let's see, get this the right way around. You've got to bring this section around like so. Hold on, you've got to, and flip out this white part. You're going to have to move these small bits. This is where it gets fiddly. Move the small bits like so, and we've got to get the, I've got to get them to turn past each other. This is always the fiddly bit, is these two parts. That's it, like that. Turn this so the red part is at the top, and then fold out this white part. Then with the front section, you've got to fold out the white part, which will become his arm, but in this mode is a beast leg, and that's got to fold out, and that part's got to turn around like so. So you effectively end up with two legs, which should be roughly in that sort of position like that. Okay, so I'll quickly try and do that the other side. And we want to go round and over, that's it. Bring the leg out, bring the other side out the same way, and get them positioned about the same, so he's sitting about level, that's it, like so. Now with this rear tail fin assembly, you need to swing that down and just move these little legs out the way a touch. That's got to swing down, and these parts, oh dear, this is a real sort of pig's ear of a thing to change. Swing the legs back, I think would be better, so it's in that position. Swing it down first, then swing these back, and then you're supposed to just swing these up, so you've got wings sticking out the side of the animal mode, which again is a bit pants. Now the guns become part of the tail, and again fit on exactly like they do for the gun mode, like so. So he's got a huge great rear double tail, which makes no sense. Now the last and final part, which is actually the best bit of the animal mode, is to lift up this rear cab section, and inside you've got this red part. Flip that over and you actually get a nice little head reveal of what I would say is more something like a cheetah sort of shape head, a little bit like Rampage, in it, out of the Predacons. Yeah, quite nice, and actually quite nice the fact they picked out the eyes. A little bit Ravagey as well in that mode. And that is his beast mode, which out of all of them is probably more my favourite, to be honest. The tank modes are a bit pants really, but as a kind of cat one, and I've always been a bit of a fan of Ravage anyway, I kind of like that mode. So yeah, alright, I'll go with that. At least he's got sort of like some reasonable posable legs and that as well, so okay, not bad. Now of course the final mode, which obviously being a transformer, is a robot as well. So fold his head away of the animal version. You then pop off the guns, hide the red drill pit away. Then we've got to fold these back together and flip that up and over like so. Fold the white parts on the rear legs away, and then these have got to be turned. Let's see, get this round. You can see why I delayed doing this review, it's a real pig's ear. Turn them like so, and then you've got to extend them out with a double hinged part which sits inside normally there with the red part. Do the same the other side, and then obviously you can see where this is going. You've already got his feet. Then turn the animal leg parts round and just flip up the feet, which then becomes his fist, which is not a bad little transformation, you know, it's quite neat. And pretty much you've nearly transformed him. That's pretty much his robot mode, which is a chunky, weird looking robot. And one thing that's always made me think more of the Headmasters, you've got a little panel here, and you've just got to lift that up, flip it over your fingernail, and that does the head reveal. And there you get his little face hidden inside. That in itself is very Headmastery, and they could have almost made this guy a Headmaster with a little bit of an adaptation, you know. Now you also could have had like his tech spec showing up on his chest as well, so maybe a 6-changer headmaster could have been on the market then. Never mind. One little gimmick they could have done as an extra. Of course, all you've got left to do then is fit guns in his hands, and he's fully transformed. Now, as a robot, he's actually got reasonable articulation, strangely enough. Although he can't move his head, you have actually got shoulder and elbow articulation, which is quite good on G1, even a little bit in wrist if you count the fact he can tilt his hands forward. Leg wise, he's got at the hip and the knee, so again, not bad for G1. But no waist movement, obviously, because of the chunkiness of that main body section, and like I say, head can't turn, but again, that's due to transformation more than anything else. But anyway, that is G1 quickswitch. Not the best figure, certainly more of a niche figure. You know, pick him up if you're a real G1 fan, but not one I would recommend people go and, you know, rush out and buy, as it's something wonderful. But yeah, definitely a real piece of solid G1 figure. Don't really have any sort of real problems with it. Obviously discoloration would be sort of a matter of sort of toys of this age, but he's stayed pretty good. Sticker wear, obviously, you know, stickers have pretty much disappeared on this guy due to the fact you've probably got to go through so many transformations they've worn off. But yeah, all the joints are pretty good, all sort of quite nice and stiff still. The only ones to watch, and a bit of super glue probably sort them out, is just these hinged rear wings can be a bit floppy. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that little review and a look at G1's quickswitch. Feel free to subscribe and comment, and I'll just say a little thank you to all my new subscribers, and a thank you to all of the subscribers who have stuck with me over the past over a year now, and hope you've enjoyed the review, and I shall see you again for another Transformers review. Thanks for watching.